telling me about the overwhelming emotions and nostalgia my words had ignited in him, he disappeared again. His words unleashed so many thoughts and feelings in me that I wrote at length about integrity, moral dilemmas, marriage and surrender, intending to share it all with him, until I realized this too was a pattern I needed to break. Previously, every time I sought to connect with him, I would bombard him with deep, spiritual emails, high on love. After all, I am a writer. However, I didn't wish to overwhelm him anymore, or to make him feel like he could never adequately reply to me. Instead, since he had mentioned his surrender, I decided to share with him my own personal journey into surrender and the realizations it brought regarding our beautiful connection. Even though I wasn't hearing from him, the deepest sense of serenity, of guidance, of being closer than ever to him and to Source, came over me. I knew something big was happening. I felt the celestial magnets being switched on again. This wasn't the first time I had experienced this painfully exquisite pull to him. However, this time it came with clarity about the deeper purpose behind the connection, which not only returns the twins to each other but also to Source. I was absolutely certain he was feeling the pull too, and indeed, months later he told me he thought God was drawing us to each other. 2 weeks or so after I wrote to him describing my journey into surrender, he finally sought me online late one night. He apologized for his long absence and said that he had been truly very happy that I was writing again and how the repetition and succession of my emails had been a blessing. He spoke of his frustration of not being able to find the words to respond to me or to encourage me to write more. He had wanted me to think about what I wrote and had wanted to allow himself to believe in it. Remaining silent to avoid or postpone facing his demons would only ever lead him down the path of mediocrity, he said, and instead he wanted to build something lasting and real. He also revealed that he had been preparing for our discussion by covering the subject I might be talking about from every possible angle, yet deep down he was still expecting me to uncover unexpected angles. Believe. That night, for the first time in almost a decade, we chatted. Mostly it was about God and surrender, but also about our marriages, our connection and his conversion to Islam. His first question, "So, where are you in your spiritual journey?" set the tone of the conversation. He also right away asked about my marriage and how things were. I knew with my husband we were headed for separation, but I didn't want to put any pressure on my twin flame to feel like I was expecting him to do the same, so I avoided the subject, telling him simply that things were difficult with my husband being away so much. He told me he had relished in all my emails and told me how amazed he was at me. We seemed to be feeling, thinking and experiencing all the same things. Even the triggers and fears that had prompted his growth and realizations were mostly the same as mine, and seemed to have happened pretty much simultaneously. We were so in alignment that he asked me whether I had become a Muslim too. He suggested we had reached a level of spiritual and emotional maturity at the same time, and asked me if I didn't mind him testing me without me thinking that he was trying to be argumentative, as he wanted to be sure. He told me that he cares for me and wants me to be the best I can be, and more importantly accepts me just the way I am. "You are perfect to me," he said. He spoke about being a truly changed man through his surrender to God, and how he had finally found peace. He told me that he still struggles with his fears, mortality and imperfections every day, but also that the deeper he goes into surrender, the more empowered he feels. I was blown away by the accuracy of my guidance. This was what I had always known would happen. He told me that if he was to pursue a life partner, this would be in alignment with what God wants, a realistic love and affection that would allow both of us to fulfill our purpose in life for the love and pleasure of God. This partnership, he said, would be serious, binding and real with no ifs, buts, doubts, and all the way. He also spoke of the complementary polarity which we share and which I had so beautifully described in my emails, and quoted a verse from the Quran speaking about the love and affection God has placed between a husband and wife. With surrender and the shifting reality, he said, Even the idea of twin flames and their return to source had become the reality, instead of a delusion. He spoke about patience, saber, and about preparation, which he said this was all part of. We hope this channel has helped you discover where to start on your actual paths. It's a good karma to put a like, subscribe and share. Leave your suggestion in the field below. With all the love to you.